Save the date, Sunday at 9:30.
Traumatic brain injury,
Coughing up blood,
skull fracture.
Scrub in to the Shock Trauma Center.
Put a couple staples in the back of her head to minimize bleeding.
Experience the swarm with a doctor on every limb.
But really organized chaos.
His power team faces the most severe cases.
A police officer took a brick to the head
and life-threatening injuries.
They brought him in on one bed, and somebody else brought his shoes with his feet still in them separate.
Shock Trauma premieres Friday, January 1st at 10 on Discovery Life.
For the last 6 months, Jackie Spar has been suffering from mysterious, debilitating pain all over her body, and doctors can't explain why. A month ago, she had to stop attending high school, and now walking is so unbearable that Jackie needs a wheelchair.
The pain was so severe that there would be some days, I remember, where she'd just say to cut off her legs.
Then, more than a year after her pain began, she experiences a frightening new symptom.
She'd be in a piano lesson and her fingers would start to hurt. They would get fixed and tight and like mangled.
It would be almost like claws, or like, you know when you see weird bark of trees, this is like all like wrapped over in itself.
Almost like you'd see in some movies with these monsters like this. And she couldn't pick up silverware, couldn't hold the pen, couldn't even open up a door with her hand.
My muscles were spasming and getting stuck in that position. And it was just so painful, and it wouldn't be for days, it wouldn't be for a few minutes.
Jackie's doctors are perplexed by this strange condition.
The doctors ruled out so many different diseases or things that could have caused it, whether it was zinc, copper, malaria, Lyme disease. They just ruled out a number of diseases which they thought she didn't have.
Every doctor would say, I'm going to get the answer for you, I'll tell you what's wrong. But it's not like I believed them anymore at that point. You know, I'd sort of roll my eyes and just be like, sure. You tell me what's wrong with me. Go ahead. And I didn't have any confidence in their statements anymore.
Finally, the primary rheumatologist suggests that she might have what's called RND, reflexive neurovascular dystrophy.
Reflex neurovascular dystrophy is a condition where the spinal cord short circuits and sends abnormal pain signals to the brain and to nerves, causing extreme pain throughout the body.
So it wasn't an arthritic problem, but more of a pain syndrome problem stemming from her spinal cord.
They're basically telling me that my nerves are not sending the right signals, and I just have to retrain these signals.
He suggested we go see a specialist in that field at a hospital out in Seattle.
Desperate for any kind of help, Jackie agrees to fly across the country to a hospital in Seattle.
I was inpatient there for 3 weeks, and 6 hours a day of intense physical therapy, and I was in pain the entire time.
You're just supposed to, almost like a stroke victim, learn all over again how to move, how to walk through pain.
There was a day where I was vomiting, and I was just like, I need to go lie down, like, I don't feel well, and she just, like, picked me up by the arm and was like, keep going, keep doing it.
After 3 weeks of intense physical therapy, Jackie graduates from the program and is released. She's still in pain, but has learned to function through her discomfort.
What she did get out of the Seattle hospital is that she was learning to walk a bit more and get through more of the pain, so she was in less of the wheelchair.
And with this improvement, Jackie's doctors begin to suspect that her illness may not be physical after all.
A number of the doctors we were seeing would say, Jacqueline, there's nothing medically wrong with you. Is this because of your mind?
It wouldn't even cross my mind that it would be possible to create this amount of agony for yourself. I couldn't even imagine, from the doctor's point of view, how you could even think that.
Jackie's doctors suggest that she may be growing too reliant on her parents and losing her sense of independence.
Which is really funny because all through her life, she's always been on her own. I've always sent her away to camp. She's always traveled by herself.
But with that being said, by the doctor, we said, why don't we send her on a program during the summer? So we signed her up for a program where she spent a couple of weeks in Madrid and a couple of weeks in Barcelona.
The progress Jackie made in physical therapy has given her the confidence to travel to Spain despite her illness.
It was the very first day there, and I had arrived really early before everyone else, and there was one other girl there, and we started talking. And, like, little did I know that this girl was going to change my life.
think this all might be in Jackie's head, her parents send her abroad so she can gain some independence. On her first day in Spain, something amazing happens.
There was one other girl there, and we started talking. We realized we had a lot of the same symptoms. We'd seen a lot of the same doctors, and we had a lot of the same misdiagnoses, which was really freaky. She said she had Lyme disease.
Jackie can't believe what she's hearing. She calls her parents from Spain.
She goes, Mom, there's a girl here on my trip, and she's just like me. She was just diagnosed with Lyme disease. I said, you've got to be joking. You've been tested for Lyme disease. There's no way. Everybody has said time and time again, no way, no how. She says, Mom, seriously.
Despite her skepticism, Jackie's mom gets the number of the doctor who diagnosed her new friend. A month later, when Jackie is back from Spain, she arrives for her appointment with Dr. Bernard Raxlin.
What struck you about Jackie was that she was just disgusted with the whole medical profession. She just wanted to throw us all into the water. I mean, all these bells and whistles and all these great degrees and big hospitals. She didn't have a whole lot of faith at that point in time that there was going to be a different scenario.
Dr. Raxlin begins to ask Jackie a series of questions.
And it was just amazing that, like, I was checking off these things on the symptom list. All my symptoms were on this one list. It was all there. It was just like, oh, wow.
She was amazed to find that almost half the list applied to her.
And they kind of put us at ease in saying, you know what? We have to run the test, but we really think it is Lyme disease.
Lyme disease is caused by the bite of a deer tick infected with a bacteria called Borrelia. The tick embeds itself into the skin and discharges the Borrelia into the bloodstream, which can then wreak havoc throughout the body.
The earlier phase of Lyme disease, it stays mostly in the skin, and it gets into the bloodstream and into other organs, including the heart, the brain, the joints, the muscles. It becomes more difficult to treat. You get pain, you get swelling, and then there's the general symptoms where you're exhausted. I mean, you can't even get up to brush your teeth. You lie in bed 18 hours a day, and it's a lot. I mean, would you know what to make of it if somebody came in with all those symptoms?
In addition to its confusing symptoms, standard tests for Lyme disease can often be unreliable and give false negatives, like in Jackie's case.
In the testing of Lyme disease, mostly there's one or two kits that have been used across the spectrum of most labs. And there are many more sensitive tests or different ways it can be evaluated, and most physicians are not aware of that.
He also explained to me the fact that bacteria hides and it doesn't flow as easily in the blood, so the chances of that one vial of blood carrying the bacteria is very low.
Dr. Raxlin performs a variety of tests on Jackie and sends her blood work to 3 different laboratories across the country for analysis. She tests positive for exposure to the Borrelia bacteria.
We wanted to open champagne because now that we had an answer, and we knew what was causing this, we could then go find a cure and find out how to fight it.
Chronic Lyme disease is treated with long-term antibiotics. And after a difficult 1.5 years on treatment, Jackie's symptoms finally begin to subside.
It took a lot of time and a lot of waking up each morning and being like, okay, I'm going to hook up to the IV and I'm going to push through today. But, you know, I got there and I've gotten on my life and I'm functioning, so it's very good.
Jacqueline is such a fighter, so strong-willed, that she was able to graduate on time with her high school class.
Jackie is also extremely lucky. If her Lyme disease hadn't been caught at all, her condition would have gotten even worse.
If she hadn't been treated with aggressive antibiotic therapy, she would have probably had pain for the rest of her life and probably would have manifested more neurological symptoms over the course of time.
Jackie has gone on to college and feels better than she has in years, but she still fights to keep her Lyme disease under control.
Does the bacteria ever leave your system? No. Does the bacteria stay in remission for many, many years? The answer is yes.
The Lyme bug actually did find a very tough person to bite because she's just not going to give up.
I'm still fighting. I'm still, pushing forward each morning. I'm still getting up each morning and being like, oh gosh, I have to hook up the IV and take this many amount of pills each day. And it's horrible, I'm not going to lie, but it's my life. And if that's what I have to do in order to make the rest of my life really good and to make the rest of my life what I want it to be, then I'll do that.